Tribe Gaming, as I said, is kind of the default team. This is kind of the go-to #1. Shoutouts to Mandy. But it's Chazmac Gaming are not that far away from the top shelf. This 18-12 is not indicative of how far apart these teams are. If Chazmac win this one, I'm not overwhelmingly surprised. I expect Tribe to win. But I'll tell you, I also expected some other certain teams to win this weekend. We've seen upset after upset after upset as we go from region to region to region. But now it's time to talk our game #1, locked and loaded, picks and bans. And so, no healer, no crow, and a bunch of standard bans, I would say. I'm specifically looking at the Meg here. If you're not banning Meg in hot zone, I think you're doing it wrong. Penny will be picking it up first and foremost. And across the way, we've got Stu, which, again, I like these two choices. I think they are not really telling anybody what you're thinking. If you pick healers at the front, if you pick tanks at the front, that's a whole different story. But this kind of keeps things open here.
Tribe Gaming with that Penny first pick, just one of the most consistent, one of the safest brawlers in the game at the moment. We see the selection of Stu from Chazmac Gaming in A is something that is not necessarily the safest, but definitely sort of in that area when we talk draft-wise on open zone. Lola selection from Chazmac Gaming in A, yet another pretty consistent brawler on this map that we've seen all around the globe, particularly in East Asia, as we saw just a few days ago. It's over to Tribe Gaming's court, though, to see how they're going to react to this, and I think that, honestly, so far, no major curveballs thrown in the draft. We see the B ban as well.
No spike yet.
Yeah, okay, yeah, no spike, just, yeah, you never know, you never know.
Gotcha, I'm so funny. I really like the Lola tech. I think that Lola tech into spawners with unbreakable walls is something that players are paying attention to. Put the Lola behind the wall that you can't break, kill the turret, easy peasy. So I like this tech that we're seeing out of pro players here. So I like the Lola into the Penny. It sounds a little strange, but that's the idea, in my opinion, that they're taking the field with. So I like it. Those are the creative ways to play. Pam going to be the last pick here for Tribe Gaming. Again, well-balanced composition. I love to see characters like Pam in open zone, in hot zone in general. Once you're on the point, how do you stay on the point? Pam's a character that helps that.
Yeah, and she's able to put that turret behind the unbreakable wall, as you pointed out. Lola could throw her ego back there, but it's going to be pretty tough considering the amount of turrets, and this, I think, is a very measured reaction and a pretty consistent one from Chazmac Gaming. This is like the anti-turret behind a wall character at Squeak. Now, it's going to take quite a few shots to get rid of something like a Pam turret, but it certainly beats having to go the long way around and then take it out from behind. I think Tribe Gaming coming in here with like the triple turret comp can seriously shut things down control-wise. They have managed to bring things onto like their level draft-wise, because Tribe, they've suffered a lot in the last couple of months because tanks are so good right now. Chazmac Gaming in A, that's where they specialize. They can't put RBM on the tank here. Tribe Gaming get to play the control game. The draft also, I think I like it better from Tribe Gaming. We'll see how it plays out, but I'm putting my money on Tribe Gaming already.
I, too, like the draft better from Tribe. However, I don't think Chazmac has overwhelmingly lost the draft phase. I do like what they've got out here, and I do think they have a chance to win it. Chazmac were the first onto the point, but quickly shoved off, and it's Tribe Gaming sitting here. Pam's actually playing on the right side, so that heal turret not actually on the point, but it doesn't really matter because Chazmac not able to talk just yet. Stu drops down, and all of a sudden, mid lane is being approached on. Stu got some dodges and finds the kill. And is Libby after the fact? Not even a factor.
Tribe Gaming completely shoved off the point. Now Chazmac Gaming A just trying to find any semblance of control, and they've managed to do, though, especially with Toast in position at mid, as Libby's starting to back things up as he's taking just a bit of damage, now flanked on his left side by that turret with the Trash Panda inside. Tyrant also creeps up the left side. Toast and Juan Carlos pushed back on the right. Good retake of control by Tribe Gaming, just metered very slowly but surely, pushing up gradually. Chazmac Gaming in A need to launch some kind of assault, but they gotta have some entry fragger, and that might be Toast as he pops that gadget. He looks to jump in with the super.
See, Toast, that first sequence played fantastic. The second sequence doesn't really get a chance to even play, but CMG are playing good Brawl. Once they get on the point, it's really tough for them to stay there, though. They have a composition built to kind of like bully you off the point, but they don't really have the tools to stay on the point. Ready?
Doesn't look like it, and we're sort of seeing it in action too. CMG Gaming and A now getting completely shoved off. Tribe Gaming looking for the retake. Freeze frame on the left side is going to hold Tyrant back just a little longer, and Zulon falls on the right. This could be CMG Gaming and A tying things up on the percentage. Tyrant on the left side trying to be the one-man army, suffering a lot. Double team on the left, and as Livy tries to recoup things at mid. Tribe Gaming, they really only need one more good push in, so if they decide to regroup as a team and then move forward as this endless march, they might be able to do just that. CMG Gaming and A gradually falling back. They need to take things down, especially keeping his Livy from tiptoeing on the edge of this point. They're able to do just that. Gradually approach the percentage so far. Toast barely staying alive. Could get bombed by his Livy. Not quite. Could be a takedown as he lands on the back lines, disrupting things, but Zulon's on too low of health to make any major moves.
Squeak. Squeaking around, and his Tyrant is going to fall down here. CMG finishes it off. And better Brawl. At the end of the day, I thought that the equation of the better draft on Tribe's side would allow them to kind of stick on that point a little bit more so, Ready. But CMG, they made the plays to get there, and despite the fact that I think they're playing into a slightly mismatched draft, as I said before, they do have tools. It's just a matter of if they're able to continue to retake. So CMG starts us off again, but just like game number one, Tribe Gaming are the ones that are pushing forward faster.
CMG Gaming, they have the tools to make it work. It's exactly what you're saying, F-Dot. They have the Squeak. They're able to take down these turrets so effectively. And also, mechanically, they're able to diff things out if Toast is able to keep on dodging these shots and staying alive. He's cycling out these supers repeatedly. Zulon on the right side, sapping away some of the shots. Here it comes with the turret and a takedown. And Tribe Gaming get the retake.
Toast has been so impressive, Ready.
He has. He's been dodging back and forth. Is pretty much gliding, but still waiting for the perfect opportunity to make this work. Here comes the speed zone turret in. A few shots. Super cycled out as Livy now takes for the backlines. Had to repeatedly get rid of that speed zone turret. That's the last one that CMG Gaming have. They still don't have the advantage, though, but they might be accruing a few more percentage points to get themselves in that situation.
Zulon in some trouble dealing with 2.5 players, as the ego sort of counts. RBM finishes it off, but it's Livy that's on the point this entire time. CMG with the 3-on-2, shading over to the mid lane, and Toast able to plant himself down. And so that 50% will tick up, and CMG actually going to match Tribe's 63 here and continue to go forward. RBM in a precarious situation. Toast needs to help. Toast is thinking about the point, so Zulon can go hide away and heal on the right side.
Toast doesn't have a super. Now, it's not really the best situation, but he might be able to get it back if his Livy steps a bit too far. RBM on the right side has actually been getting a miraculous hold on this lane, keeping Zulon back and also at the same time keeping his Livy just on the edge of the point. But on the edge is not good enough. He's still picking up percentage points. We're looking at 95%. It's the point of no return. No one can make it work from CMG Gaming and AS.
Them to lose this one as hard. I think that game number one, CMG played as a team tremendously. And in game number two, despite the fact that RBM was just locking down and winning the right side overall, the team looked a little bit more disjointed to me.
It did seem at times, and I think that's probably a little bit of communication things. When you're put under a lot of pressure, sometimes you just want to focus in and do what you're doing instead of communicating with your teammates. It's a trap that you can fall into at times. Of course, only speculation here. Got to give some credit to the enemy team for putting them in that position to begin with in maintaining the pressure. Things can rapidly spiral out of control once you lose control for the very first time, which seems to be happening to Tribe Gaming right now. The CMG Gaming and A has gotten a pretty good retake. Here's his Livy taking to the skies once again, getting rid of the speed zone in the back lines. Toast gets the bomb dropped on him, and a connection potentially onto his Livy as he stays just on the edge of Juan Carlos's attack.
CMG now leading 8 points so far, but it's Tribe that's able to momentarily find points on the point. Zulon falls down, and it's the 3-on-2 for now. CMG now solidified on the point. Look how comfortable Toast is because everybody's dead. And this is the problem, is that Chazmac, they're just not comfortable on the point because of that comp, so they have to keep being aggressive and looking for these kills so they can just chill while everybody's respawning.
And it's not the way that Tribe Gaming usually like to play. They like to play that control, and it's not necessarily working out for them so far, but Tyrant might be able to get super aggressive on the left side. Toast stays just out of range. Good gliding action from him as he now moves behind the unbreakable wall, prepares for the next push in. Tribe Gaming, they have the area control for now, but they don't have the man advantage. Tyrant could be the first one to fall as the Salty Barrel goes down. Good tech there with the super on the left side. The disrespect from his Livy as well as he circles overhead. Juan Carlos goes for a Hail Mary play. Just that one last percent that he was able to squeak out there brings him within 9% of victory.
Fantastic play by Tribe Gaming there. Tyrant just highlight reel play. Protect himself and thus his team. But now here comes CMG. Only 4 points needed, and they're going to be able to tiptoe up 2 percentage points required for the victory here. But they just don't have the HP bars to do so. Zulon falling down might open the door. Toast gets in there, falls down. Here, I will say, I'm a little cautious. I'm a little concerned about Chazmac because they won game 1. Or the first game they won because Toast carried the game. And they won game 3 because Juan Carlos carried the game. I need to see teamwork in order to make this dream work. You're going to be Tribe Gaming. I think you kind of need everybody working, but everybody working together as well. And so, straight up, I'd like to see it. Safe zone here, and it's B first selection.
I like the B. First selection from Chazmac Gaming in A. This is a Juan Carlos favorite. Sometimes Toast likes to play this brawler as well. He used to be the main B on this roster, but since Juan Carlos joined, the baton has been passed. Tribe Gaming, yet again, with the Penny first selection on their side. Once again, it's a safe brawler, and Tribe Gaming, I think one of the things that makes them stand out among the rest of the NA teams to me is that they really focus down on a handful of brawlers and try and make them work in a lot of different places. We've seen it work in the World Finals for East Asia. Love the 8-bit pick as well. If we analyze the bans a little bit as well, Colette is completely open for Chazmac Gaming in A, which I expect could be a reaction.
Could be. I'm thinking about it. I'm glad they banned Eve. I just don't like her. B, though, selected here, so safe zone. Looking for some choices to flank. I wonder... Lola could be the direction again. Again, we've seen a number of teams go there, but it's Amber here for Chazmac Gaming on safe zone. Do you like that choice?
I mean, look. I know my buddy Sword's been helping out Chazmac Gaming with the draft sometimes. So, like, do I hold my tongue here? I don't know. It's unusual. Is really the main thing that we're going with here. On top of that's the fact, right? My opinion. I'm not like the biggest fan, but I can see where it might fall into place. Now this is getting out of hand. The Colt? What?
So we've just got some interesting choices here. Toast and Juan Carlos, rather B and Colt, have long-range abilities for sure. Colt primarily comes to thought when you think about breakable walls, but we're in the unbreakable wall meta, so curious. That said, Colt does just do a ton of safe damage, and that will always be relevant. So worth noting that. Carl selected across the way to round out the draft of Penny, 8-bit, and Carl.
I like the Carl. I think it can do fairly well into the Amber. Amber really struggles when things get close in range versus her. Is Livy probably going to be running Protective Pirouette to get some free kills in close range? Juan Carlos could also be fairly vulnerable versus that, but I expect him to run Magnum Special and keep his Livy at range for a good while there. So it, in the end, as with a lot of things, comes down to how it's played mechanically, but one of the main things also is I don't really see Zulon having a very good day out here. The 8-bit, it's not really flanked by anything that supports him in a large way, unfortunately. And while it can get like one really, really good push in on the safe, I don't expect it to really reach there unless Tribe Gaming are able to dip these lanes pretty hard. Chazmac Gaming are playing a bit of a stalematey thing here with the B, and they're going to try and keep it there for as long as possible. Win one lane, then have RBM take some free shots off the safe, rinse, repeat.
Well, it does kind of fit, you know, in set number 1, Chazmac also went with a high execution composition. That's just fancy talk for, like, you got to be good to play it. And I think that's really what Chazmac kind of has here as well.
True. They have to line up the shots with RBM on the right side. It's going to be tough because Zulon, first of all, he's able to peek the corners a lot more easily. Second of all, around that right side, once he places down the turret, RBM's not going to have many moves that he can make. Keep in mind, these walls are unbreakable on the right side. Colt, he's just not played on this map like he used to be anymore. And RBM still hasn't really gotten any significant damage on Zulon. As Livy, on the other hand, has managed to farm up a super, which is massive. He's also not being shy about walking into the fire field, which is burned up now. Toast accidentally burns up the fire field that was giving him his super for free on the back lines. Bit of an attempt to light Tyrant on fire as well on the left side, but not going to result in much. So far, really just a stalemate on this map.
And a lot of that has to do with the Amber play here. Just creating a large area of no man's land. Definitely the idea of the Amber is to kind of lock down these lanes here, prevent Tribe from even getting out of their base because of the ground mechanic. And so I see what the Amber is doing here, and I like it. Sure, but how do you get your own offense is the question. And unfortunately, Colt not able to break that right lane open, that's a big deal.
I'm almost expecting RBM just to absolutely send it up the right side and try and get like a super in on the safe break.
That's my idea as well.
But the thing is, Tyrant can do the exact, here he comes on the left side. Easy kill for free onto Toast with the Carl. Juan Carlos has to take care of it. Now he's distracted. He can't focus on 8-Bit anymore. We might see his Livy move up mid. No, he's being quite cautious about it. Here comes RBM with the attacks on the safe. At 90 to 85. Still a 5% deficit. If RBM's able to get a super, this could be the game changer.
85% to 90. I think you said that, but here comes Toast saying something himself. Dies as he goes down, but it's 81 to 82. Juan Carlos finds it as well.
And that pushed them over the edge, putting them 3% in the lead. This is the strategy from Chazmac. They're going to stalemate the game and then make their moves at the end. And, well,
they're playing it.
Stalemate.
It's kind of like Bounty.
That's, yeah, pretty much. Wait for the last 20 seconds. But the thing is, they're facing Tyrant, who can still send it on the safe towards the end.
Yeah, and that was the the Achilles heel to their plan. Amber locks down the 2 lanes, and we just sit here. And then at the last second, Colt hits the gas and does 5% and dies. But they do 0%, so we win. Problem was, Tyrant flying hooked on in and, did that. So Chazmac going to try to do the same thing, just better.
Pretty much. RBM on the right side still denying the super to Zulon. We saw him do that for pretty much the entire last game. Not giving a single turret to Zulon, meaning that, he's not going to be making much happen. A little bit of ignition onto Tyrant, though. Looks like he'll fall on the back lines, actually. This could be the opportunity to move in as Livy's trying to create some kind of bunker back here, though. Moves on to the left side, rotating the formation to accommodate for the 2v3. Now Tyrant suspects something on the left side, a bit of over-aggression, but it's only a trade. Juan Carlos and RBM remain in their positions as Livy's quite lit up on the backside, but he's doing just fine. He's as fast as an El Primo inside of this plugged-in turret, and he has no intentions of letting anyone through.
Still scoreless. And so Chazmac's lockdown approach working better this time around. Tyrant doesn't have the super, so he's not able to use it just yet. It's a good look if you're rooting for Chazmac for sure. But even with the kill earlier, RBM has not been able to find his way in just yet. As I said, that's clearly the win con if you ask me.
Still, though, Tribe Gaming maintaining position. Chazmac Gaming in A could be preparing for something big. Toast has no gadgets. Juan Carlos has no gadgets. RBM has some stuff left, but he needs to get a little bit of damage on that safe. Tyrant is also maintaining his spot on the left side. Juan Carlos and Toast are pretty much pinned down here. They have to react if Tyrant decides to move in, which means that RBM can be the only aggressor. Here it comes. Tyrant with the big super in. Juan Carlos now trying to push in. RBM's very lit up. 5 seconds left. It's got to be about defense because there's no way anyone's making it towards the safe. Or will Toast get something? No! He's just short of the safe.
Gerald, do not pass go. However, I'm down for one. I love this slow, like, armor warrior type play here from Chazmac. This is such a wildly different approach to how we normally see this game mode played. I think it's very cool, interesting to see new tech, and it almost worked. It got better compared to game number 1. So Chazmac, they figured out how to lock it down, but they still don't know how to get on in there.
Pretty much. Well, hopefully they've learned something between the last game and this one, because you got to be careful what you wish for. I think one set of this is enough for the day. I don't know if we want a repeat of what was going on in LATAM with draw after draw after draw. Another 100 would leave a sour taste in my mouth. Hopefully someone speeds things up. And so far...
I like Warheads.
Yeah, like Warheads. That kind of sour.
No, real talk, I am so annoying. I like playing counter spells. I like playing Riot Shield. No, I don't like playing Riot Shield, but I like to play the turtley stuff. The dirtle and just take a long time and then finally win. So I really do. I also like baseball, so feel free to make fun of me. But, like, I enjoy this. This is cool. But again, Chazmac, they have to have a... It feels like to me that they don't have a game plan to get in there. It's just like, when it hits 10, run forward. And I think they need a set play when it hits like 10 or 15 if they want to do this. Because otherwise, you're turtling, cool, but you're just going to hope to get lucky with the win condition?
Precisely.
I need to see more aggression.
Yeah, and if you're not careful, I mean, it can wind up being just a toxic waste of time, and that's exactly what we saw in the last game. You could see it turn around. Chazmac Gaming and A might make some moves. With RBM now accumulating a super on the right side, he's holding on to it, thinking about going in, but as Livy and Zulon are prepared to defend him, it's the exact same dynamic going on the left side where Tyrant is being very cautious about going in versus Toast and Juan Carlos. No big moves just yet, but we're dipping below that 30-second mark. Someone's going to have to make a move. Who's going to go first? Chazmac Gaming.
But they can't go too soon.
Precisely. They got to wait for like that 15-second mark.
15 might even be too much. Here we are counting down. RBM has the super and ready to go. Has to heal up just a little bit. I think they're going to launch at about 10 seconds, as you called it. In fact, they're going to wait even more. RBM coming up, but where's the rest of the team? Nobody's looking at him. It's Carl instead that jumps forward. 2 seconds to count, and it's 89-91, and that's the win.
Within Heist, at least it hasn't been seen within the last couple of years. What a revolutionary and new way to play the game mode. It is kind of flipping the way that we see Brawl Stars on its head.
Well, one, it's a wildly new, but so listen, when the game changes, you have to change around it.
Yes.
Putting this unbreakable wall here in the right lane or on both sides is kind of awkward. Like, it's going to change, and so Chazmac are playing to the unbreakable wall meta by just, all right, since you can't break through the right, we'll just double down. The problem is, Tyrant with the super blows everything out of the water, finds the kill on the left-hand side, and is just going to town. Eventually will wind up dying, but it's 14% done by the minecart man. Great job there on the left side.
This is the weakness of what Tribe Gaming is enforcing here, is that if you let your defense down for a microsecond, Tyrant's going to be able to gadget in and take advantage of that. He's one of the best lane players in North America, and already he's going for it once again. Doesn't even care if he's losing a gadget because he knows that his teammates on the right side will be able to hold this back. But Chazmac Gaming are seriously challenging that. Toast charges through. Here comes the super, and a connection on the safe with it now being ignited. They run back, fall back into position as Livy's down. This could be time for another push. Zulon taking major damage, and the pinch on the right. Connection onto the safe, but so does Tyrant with the super in and the gadget to compare. But Toast takes him down once again as Livy left all alone on the right. Could be taken down with just 9 health left. It's not a good look for Tribe Gaming at the moment, but they are only 2% behind.
Chazmac, still winning, by the way. I like Tyrant, specifically Tyrant. I like his adjustment. Game number 2, he spent the entire game looking for the window of opportunity to flying hook in there. Game number 3, he was like, I'm gonna push the button, and just spammed green. The second flying hook didn't really work out for him. And so, Chazmac, much less control here, but still able to guard their safe well. Juan Carlos winning in the mid, as per usual. RBM wins on the right and going directly to the box. Carl gets in there, but is put down a lot faster than Colt was. But we're still separated by 1%. 10 seconds to go, ready.
might be possible. 5 seconds left. Tyrant needs a shot through. RBM tries to take him down. Pickaxe connects. It's 64 to 54, and Toast isn't able to reach there in time.
But complete jokes aside, doesn't work out for Chazmac. However, I do like the strategy. I think it's real cool. I think it works on a team level, so it probably won't work in your games at home. But if you're grinding up with a dedicated team, if you're an esports player, then taking a look at slowing the game down and looking for a control draft in that situation might bode well.
Could be.
Moving on to set 3, though. Let's shake the Etch-a-Sketch ready. Let's go to Brawl Ball. Lou, first pick. That's NA, baby.
We love the Lou. And there was a point at which we said, like, if you don't play Lou, you lose on, like, one particular map. And now he's really diversified. He's able to do a lot more things. Particularly, he's able to do well versus tanks. Oh, okay. Yeah, thanks, Chazmac. So we shook the Etch-a-Sketch, but it looks like a bit of the wackiness remained. We're still going to be running the Dynamite. Thanks, Chazmac.
Heck yeah.
But they banned out the Barley, I guess, so there's not going to be like a super viable tank to, or rather, thrower to compete versus him. Keep in mind there are some unbreakable walls on this map, but they're pretty sparse. They remain when overtime is introduced as well. Just another thing to keep in the back of your head. Tribe Gaming, though, I think really what they're going to have to do is either play wall breakers or pick a tank for once. And the tanks are not really their specialty.
Well, there's a curveball you were looking for. Woohoo! Spike selected. We'll love Spike. Quintessential Brawl Ball pick. No real big commentary to talk about the cactus there. Just a good selection overall. Dynamite, I mean, does it have synergy with Dynamite? Does Dynamite have synergy with anybody? So, you know, it'll fit there. But Lou needs some teammates as well. And with taking a look at the bans, normally, you know, you expect a little bit more aggression. Sprout here, so some utility here. Do you like that choice, Sprout, into a Chazmac have so far?
I do. I think it's probably the best thing that you can pick into Dynamite if you're Tribe Gaming, because I've said it once, I'll say it again. If you listen to Tribe Gaming, they'll say it too, is that, like, they're a team that plays controlled. That is what they are really, really good at. So tank, not really the avenue that they could go down confidently, especially facing into a Spike. It would be kind of a struggle for them. Here's the Ashe selection for them, though.
Okay. Yeah, I was just about to say, Zulon has put himself on tanks recently.
Yeah.
Like, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but historically I've always looked at Zulon as like a high DPS aggression player, and recently he's been playing more of the Pams and some of these characters, and so I'm with you that Tribe Gaming aren't usually the go-to snap selection tank guy. But Zulon has been playing more tanks, so we'll see. That said, the conversation is clearly going to be about the red team here. We've got Mike, we've got Primo. Let's have some fun, boys.
I think Primo is a bit of an underrated brawler at the moment. When we talk like the masses, anyone who watches competitive, especially if you watch like Semantic, always selecting the Primo over an EMEA, you'll know that this guy, he's pretty much like the tank that counters tanks. He owns basically any tank because of how good he is in close range. Toss him around a little bit with a suplex supplement, throw down a flying elbow drop, see what happens, get some knockback. It's a fun time to watch. It sucks to face versus.
When they first did the, do you remember when they first made the tanks chain?
Oh my gosh.
Last year? Oh, Primo, all the time. What are you doing? It's just so funny. Everybody was wrestling. But it's Juan Carlos that starts us off in the mid here on the Spike. And so looking at these compositions, what's the first play that you want to see? Like, who's gonna break the defense first?
I expect RBM's probably going to be the first one to make a big move here. He is playing a little defensively, trying to prey on Zulon's aggression on the left side as Livy throws down a wall on the right side. Actually, to break open the wall, it's pretty inventive use of the Sprout wall. It's not something you see super often as Livy continues to push forward. Here's the Spike, super on the left side. RBM senses an opportunity to move through, but as Livy continues to push things back, a hedge down at mid. It's not going to do too much to keep Juan Carlos back, but there's not enough time for his Livy to place down another one, so they're just going to have to deal with a good takedown on the Toast. Now that his Livy doesn't have a thrower contending him on the right side, it's going to be tough for anything to happen. Here he comes, has a super in hand, has to be careful though. Toast pops a stun gadget, not quite any action just yet. RBM also takedown on the left side, and Tribe Gaming can continue to move forward.
I don't like that play from RBM. Even if RBM gets the kill on Zulon, what does that do for his team?
pretty much
Kind of a solo Q play there. Not my fave. Need to see CMG really work as a unit here. Tyrant, though, able to walk up front, slow things down, and if RBM falls down, this will be a score opportunity.
No.
Not even on the right side.
No.
It's right up mid. Tyrant doesn't need anybody to fall. The ball goes right on in. 1 to Tribe Gaming.
Wow, a disappointing outcome there for ChazMac because they did things so perfectly, but one loose super is really all it takes. They had 2 people in position as well.
Yep.
They just couldn't make it in front of the goal, but here comes RBM. Unrelenting aggression on the right side. Another super chained up. Zulon gonna get tossed around, slapped up, but no ball within range. Juan Carlos needs to win the lane on the right. Not quite going to happen. Tyrant could get targeted by the curveball. Not any action just yet. 20 seconds remain. No contact from Juan Carlos. RBM has an angle on the right side, but is completely surrounded. Jump on a Zulon. No, not able to receive a pass. And the wall, he's trapped in jail on the left side. That's it. That's the game.
Let me in! Let me in! He's stuck. Oh, now the ball is complete. I have used this term before. Against this CMG mentality is mentally taxing for the Tribe Gaming guys right now.
It is, because they're not able to like rely on muscle memory for a lot of these because ChazMac is playing some unusual things, but that doesn't mean that they're playing bad selections. They're just
agreed
really making Tribe Gaming think here. But Tribe, they're still able to come out on top, even if it is by a pretty thin margin. See Zul on the left side start to get some action in on RBM. Ball pass forward, and ChazMac has to move backwards with his Livy throwing down a super and a super on the left side from Tyrant. It's a recipe for success.
Big plays here. No. Tyrant a little bit off the mark. Can't find the score. But honestly, the lane change really worked out. That said, ChazMac just had better defense. Lane change between Tyrant and Zulon, by the way. That said, like I said, I'll say it again. CMG here, strong defense, now looking for their offensive push. But here comes RBM, right side, dropping down, no help, and just like that, he gets deleted. Again, a little bit too far away from his teammates.
They're really trying to make these moves work, particularly RBM jumping in and getting a kill, and even when he does, still has to rely on his teammates to win their lanes respectively to get that ball passed over. And so far, from Toast on the left side, it looks like he's been zoned out a lot, just repeatedly, especially by his Livy since he has more range. Here comes the wall in on the right side. Juan Carlos and Toast kind of split off. Things need to be regrouped. No supers available from Tribe Gaming, so no one's going to get locked in with a super from Tyrant, but he could be very close, especially with supercharged gear active on him. A hedge down, RBM split off. Could be more free supercharge. Zulon maybe in position. No, he's stunned by the satchel charge. Jump in from RBM as Livy tries to defend, and he's able to block things off. RBM frozen up, taken down, but a pass downtown could be enough for Juan Carlos. No, the ankle breaker. Zulon can't defend it in time, and ChazMac Gaming A is in the lead.
What a save! What a save!
What a save!
Oh, man. Dirty play there from JC. Beautiful goal. And now ChazMac are up. Only 12 seconds to play defense. And as Livy here, trying to figure out left or right, left or right, left or right. Neither! It's right down middle. And it's ChazMac that are writing it down. It's a W.
Match point. And once again, I'll say it, I did not expect this from ChazMac Gaming in A, but I'm blown away, particularly by the Dynamite selection, not completely failing, getting some good stuns in there from time to time.
Love it. I really, like, ChazMac have just come to the table and they've been like, look, we're a good team, but we're just not, we haven't been able to be number one. What's the problem here? Change the approach. Don't just follow the meta, be a leader. ChazMac definitely throwing some knuckleballs out here today.
And some curveballs too with Juan Carlos trying to contest this mid lane. As Livy pushes forward on the left though, this is certainly successful. Ball placed on the back right. Zulon's going to have to make it through RBM if he wants to get that. And pushing into RBM could be a big mistake considering also that you're fighting versus an unknown enemy in these bushes. Tyrant is also kind of waiting for an opportunity. If Zulon's able to pick up that ball, need to see some supers fly out. As Livy doing just that on the left side, breaking open some of those bushes and making a wall for himself. But it's not going to do much for him versus Toast. Still gets a connection there with the Overgrowth, and it looks like as Livy is going to be sourcing most of his supers with Overgrowth with the expanded explosion radius on that shot. Until then, not a whole lot of action.
RBM moving in the bushes simply to not get disconnected. his entire job here is to just make sure Zulon can't move up, and so he just has to move to make sure he doesn't get idle discoed.
He's just a hall monitor on the right side, making sure that no one really gets past without a pass.
Well, now he's got help here. Juan Carlos also hiding on this side. Here, nope, okay, nope, we thought about it. Changes his mind a second time, and rats come down. Easy. Can it change? Can it turn into forward momentum, though? Tyrant grabs the ball, centers it. Zulon pushes it up forward. Juan Carlos still alive. Not quite. And that, with 30 seconds left, might be the moment that Tribe needs to push up.
RBM split off on the left side. He has to fight versus Tyrant, and really he's going to choose to not do it at all. Juan Carlos is going to try and take this lane and also adapt to a different formation. 15-second countdown active before all of these walls break down. And Chazmat Gaming and Ace still maintains position around their goal. RBM with a big flying elbow drop around the right side, but no kill onto his Livy, just a connection. Pizza Rat's coming in once again, and a takedown. RBM with yet another kill. It's a 2v1. Here's the stun. Tyrant not going to get stunned. A pass over Juan Carlos on the left side, but it's not enough. He has to stay out of range and stay alive. Here comes a super, but it was a Hail Mary play. It wasn't enough around the left side, and as Livy defends it, Chazmat Gaming and A now find themselves on the receiving end, and Tyrant has a super to clear things out.
Tried to be a little bit too cute there. I think, honestly, they could have scored if they didn't go for the secondary pass. Chazmak now stuck here on the left-hand side, half a minute to go, and it's all Tribe Gaming. The kick is going to be denied for now, but it's 3-on-1, as Livy's going to be able to walk up front again, and it's denied again. 22 seconds to go. RBM down, but the respawns are here. Tribe Gaming does not take the opportunity. They do not get the goal. They might not get the win.
Panic setting in. RBM and Juan Carlos on the left side. RBM has to defend this ball. Here come the Pizza Rats. RBM still alive, though. Flying elbow drop. It completely misses. Zulon also taken over to the right side, as Livy's going to be able to get this ball. Here's the super, but it's not enough time. And
20 full seconds? That's an eternity. RBM saved that game for Chazmak. Win or lose, I'm buying that guy a steak dinner if I'm on his team.
Oh, for sure. I mean, RBM, you put this guy on the tank and get ready to watch magic happen. And putting RBM versus Zulon in the tank matchup also certainly going to impress. RBM is going to give him a bit of supercharge, though, going for those first punches in, and also taking quite a bit of damage. Here's a stick around on the right side. Zulon completely slowed down. Juan Carlos able to get a few shots off. On the left side, Toast has been pushed back a lot, but it doesn't really earn much for Tribe Gaming, as Juan Carlos is able to easily rotate back over to mid and keep Tyrant at bay. But as Livy has a super, and he's way further up on the left lane, it could be unwarranted aggression, because still, Zulon's not really in position to do much in terms of helping. So far, basically a stalemate. No major moves made just yet.
Toast taking care of his Livy here, keeping him away from the ball. No damage, but just, you know, the constant threat. If I'm Tribe Gaming, I probably want to be the first ones to move here, knowing that Chazmak are looking to lock things down. This Livy has a super. Thinking about it.
Chazmak still waiting for really anyone to make the first move. RBM especially needs someone to get within his range. It's basically impossible for him to get in range of Zulon and accomplish much of anything of importance, as Zulon can continue to back up and accumulate more speed as he deals damage to RBM. On the left side, Toast still just keeping his Livy at bay. Here comes a stick around from Juan Carlos. Wins him sort of that left lane, as Livy's also trying to keep him at bay, but it affords a bit of room for Toast to push up. RBM punches through all of these rats on the right side, but it looks like he'll get taken down. Zulon tries to get this Tyrant now with a pass over the left side, as Livy has the super. He could go for it. Juan Carlos tries to body block. It's not quite enough. Toast goes for the stun. No, he's not going to be able to get it in time. And 20 seconds remain for Chazmat Gaming and A to fire back with a goal of their own.
Obviously, Chazmak has to hit the ground running here with just a dozen seconds to go. Toast trying to deal with Zulon on the right side, but it's his Livy that picks up the ball first, sends the super, and with 5 seconds, not going to be enough. RBM, even with the self-pass, can't make it happen. Toast 100% did his job. His job was just make sure that left laner doesn't really leave. And so he just tossed out shots that zoned the player away. Zoning is never going to find itself on the scoreboard. So tough stuff there to look at the scoreboard. But numbers never lie. They just might not always tell you the whole story. But we've got an ending to our story, perhaps. We're here on Knockout. We'll go to Crystal Arcade gem grab if we need it. So if ChazMac win, we're still grabbing some gems. But if Tribe take this, that's it. We're done, and we'll see them in the finals. Sprout, the first choice for CMG.
Instant Bonnie selection now from Tribe Gaming. That's going to be quite good versus Sprout if you're able to fire up one of those jumps. Really, one of the main things for ChazMac is going to be deny that. And already seeing the Sprout in play, seeing the prevention of Gray or Brock in here notifies me of ChazMac Gaming really want to make this Sprout work. I'll add another thing. You never, ever, ever see this brawler as a first pick. Usually it's picked last as some kind of win condition. ChazMac got something up their sleeve once again.
So if we see the RT, nice, cool. Sprout first choice, what do you want to pick into it? Like what counter Sprout?
Basically anything that can get in close range or break open some of the walls that Sprout needs to survive. I think Tribe Gaming probably are like thinking of running a Carl here, possibly. It's usually where Tyrant finds himself most comfortable, but also they could go for something as a last pick. The thing is that they kind of have slim pickings here. Keep in mind, ChazMac got rid of Barley, and Tribe, they got rid of a couple throws themselves. They got rid of Tick, and they eliminated the Grom. So, I mean, really their best bet is Dynamite, maybe, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, so the reason I ask is because if you're going to pick a character that is so easily, you select Sprout last for a reason. So you're kind of goading your opponent into certain selections. Maybe you're setting the table that you want. So we've got Sprout along the way. B is here to counter any tank that's going to push up onto the Sprout. And then here's just a Lola that we've seen ChazMac go to before. Strong DPS, sure. Do you like the comp? I'm in between on it.
I think it's like fairly good
fine.
For ChazMac.
It's like fine.
Yeah, like it's all right. It's just like picked in the wrong order almost. But I think that, I mean, ChazMac, they're getting exactly what they want, and they're really just putting Tribe through the ringer here. I mean, it's been 4 sets of non-stop pressure from ChazMac, and you could see already come set number 2, as Livy was kind of exhausted. I mean, you saw him doing like the not like this face, putting his hands through his hair and everything. It's really tiring, and Tribe Gaming are still managing to stand their ground, but we could have 2 more sets on our hands if ChazMac Gaming and A continue to apply this pressure and succeed as a result.
All right. So the Squeak selected here. I don't always love Squeak in Knockout. Squeak is arguably my favorite brawler, as long as my game is muted. But I don't love him here. I feel like I would have liked something a little bit more direct damage oriented. The zoning potential of Squeak. Okay, maybe we'll see how it plays out on field. I think I like it better than when I started talking.
Yeah, I mean, it fulfills basically a similar role to what Sprout's doing here. Just can't throw those shots over walls is the only problem. But it's like Squeak was like designed to have this shot that reloads and lasts on the ground for a perfect amount of time to hold control of one single lane endlessly,
right.
like perpetually.
And that doesn't, like that particularly doesn't strike me as number 1. That's the way to play Knockout. But ooh, it's Libby gets put on the wrong side of the wall, and that's certainly going to be death. And so it's 3-on-2 here. Tyrant and Zulon are the ones remaining for Tribe Gaming. Still could make this work, but it will be tough. RBM low HP as Zulon trying to find the shots, gets the guy from around the corner, but just as the same time, Toast finds the kill across the way. 1v1, Toast wins it. ChazMac, round 1.
So close to a clutch there by Zulon. I wasn't really sure. He had the pin up in the air from Zulon. I wasn't quite sure what he was going for there with the super, but he was able to approach RBM with such confidence in that secondary form, and then almost surprised Toast in those last moments. Just needed one more shot to take Toast down, which he didn't have chambered at the time, unfortunately. strong finish by CMG Gaming, however, as they have a round up on the board now. A lot of it, I think, will come down to what Juan Carlos is able to accomplish on the mid lane here. He already has that super, could shove his Livy back and then start winning that lane as a result. And Tyrant doesn't even have a super, so he's pretty much completely in the clear unless Toast mistakenly gives Tyrant a super.
Zulon missing a lot of these RT shots. That projectile moves real fast, a lot faster than a lot of other brawlers, and I think Zulon is kind of, we're seeing the growing pains on it as he jumps onto the new brawler. Having trouble with this RBM lane. Juan Carlos drops down the super, but it doesn't have the same result this time, so as Livy lives to see another day.
Here he comes, Tyrant now jumping in the back lines. Toast has to stay out of the way. He manages to survive as a result. Zulon taken down. It says Livy versus Toast. Toast needs to heal up. Big damage as well from the poison. And as Livy's able to clutch this one out. Tied up now on the game score. Zulon switches over to the right side this time, hoping to get an advantage in terms of the matchup. And it looks actually quite good. Tyrant's going to have a much better time facing versus RBM. Consider that Tyrant and RBM on these respective brawlers have the exact same range. So whoever is able to play footsies better is going to be the one walking away with the super first.
Zulon over here on the other side versus the B. Sure, fine. I think there's no difference in the matchup for the RT. I think it's more about Tyrant's choice, and Tyrant has no choice but to fall back. RBM going to chase him down. Juan Carlos pushing up mid as well. Two players on in Tribe jerseys stuck on the right side. But the ego's down, and so RBM won't have that at his disposal. Tyrant, though, getting targeted. Zulon from around the corner. Nice super. Can't get Juan Carlos killed.
And great pinch around the left side, too. That they end up not picking a throw at all, and it's kind of hurting them here, but they have gotten around under their belt. I think the RT is working actually quite well for them. It's just the Sprout lane is the biggest issue for them at the moment.
Win or lose, CMG Gaming has come through with a new approach, and that needs to be recognized and applauded. I think that their future, whether they win here today or not, I think their future bodes well. So, I'm absolutely here for it, man. I love to see the weird stuff. The Sprout going to be using the super on the right side to try and block Tyrant out this time, as Livy is able to zone out the Sprout player in mid. Toast unable to make anything work on the right-hand side. Zulon RBM left lane, just like game one.
But it's looking a lot better for Tribe than in game number one. CMG Gaming NA have been pushed back a lot. Juan Carlos is able to get a few shots onto enemies. Toast has to move off this right lane because he's basically lost it to Tyrant by now. Everyone's grouped in this left side. Here comes the ego down, but Zulon's able to get the takedown on RBM. Juan Carlos remains alive. It's just Tyrant versus both Toast and Juan Carlos. Could be a victory, actually, because he has a lot of health to work with. Here's one jump and the takedown of the Honey Molasses. Toast falls, and Tribe Gaming take the round.
The half HP there needed more time to heal up, and very, very, very intentional play there from Tyrant to make sure they didn't have the time. I think a lot of players can kind of like run in from the gas and then kind of buy that. No, he knew he had to jump in there. Otherwise, it would have been an uphill battle, even more so than the 2-on-1. Great clutch there from Tyrant. So now Tribe Gaming, one round down. Zulon and Tyrant have swapped one more time. And this time it's Juan Carlos largely winning the mid lane, pushing his Livy out a little bit. Kind of the opposite of what we saw in game number one here. That's a big Sprout super. And it'll lock down the players on the left-hand side. Does CMG go to combine against Zulon? The answer is no.
Doesn't quite look like it, but here comes a hedge as Livy's trapped on the left side. Wow, RBM's able to burst down Tyrant on the left. Here comes the shots in from Juan Carlos as Livy could be a dead man, not even able to throw off the super. He's saving it for the next round because he knows that they still have a horse in this race. They have one game up on the, or rather one round up on the board already. They can finish this one out. We see Toast also on the right side. He has no gadgets left. He's not able to tank any of these shots from Tyrant. He's going to try in front of the super as fast as possible. Once Tyrant gets a super, that's basically the win condition for this team. He's able to jump on a Juan Carlos, and then it's GG from there. And if he doesn't immediately jump on Juan Carlos, CMG Gaming NA have to back up as a whole to try and defend him.
Super is a board here for his Livy and Zulon. Zulon super more about those close quarter combat situations, so not until later on. Juan Carlos, though, thinking about it. Here it is. Tosses out the hedge. Livy reads it. And again, CMG Gaming kind of locked down Tribe. They don't really look for the combined arms until now. Tyrant being focused and forced into the mid. Nice super from Livy to shove Juan Carlos out of the conversation.
Tyrant could be taken down. Here comes Overgrowth just in the nick of time as Livy almost trapped between these two walls, but he's still going to be alive. Toast, Juan Carlos RBM descend upon him from every out of his value from being a team player, upping the damage that is done to enemies that have received the previous attack from him. Could appear on Crystal Arcade as a mid. I think there's still better options, but I would not be as skeptical of it as I was on the last map.
Agreed there. Gem grab. Set number 5. Winner goes to the finals. Colonel Ruffs is going to be our first selection. Bans coming through. Rather standard bans. Worth noting Otis banned out. I feel like Otis is a brawler that is right below the must-ban level. And so normally we don't see Otis banned, but I'm not that surprised to see him banned.
Oh, I mean, I'll tell you what I think is going on here. When I see Otis and I see Squeak and I see Penny, I see brawlers that Tribe really likes to play, especially Otis. And I also see that Jan's been banned out by Tribe Gaming, so like the Otis ban isn't going to be like as impactful. But I think CMG Gaming NA have like a pretty strong thing that they can go for here. I've heard a little bit about what draft they might decide to go for on Crystal Arcade, so I'm waiting to see if that happens exactly. That said, Tribe Gaming have gotten some pretty standard brawlers on the left side. I think that B is going to be a pretty good one here, but it's not unheard of to run like a max into this or something and still be able to dodge out a lot of beast shots.
Sure. Certainly a thought. Stu's still on the field, and Toast obviously plays Stu absurdly well. I would like to see the Stu mid. That would be a choice. The bow is the one selected, though, across the way from everybody else. So Colonel Ruffs and bow. We're talking gem grab. So you probably need a strong carrier, maybe some more util. Carl, got it.
Interesting. Carl, I think, is once again just a standard brawler. Counters out a
one size fits all.
Yeah, like a sort of an evergreen brawler. You're able to do well in close range versus brawlers that are weak in close range, obviously, since you have that super. You're also able to lane fairly well. Tribe Gaming coming in here with the Daryl, which is going to be a pretty effective counter versus Carl. But if you're, once again, if you're kept at range by Carl, I'm curious to see whether Carl even decides to run Protective Pirouette here. Might still be on the table, but keep in mind that he's also going to be powered up by Colonel Ruffs, have a little bit more health, so maybe Protective Pirouette is still on the table. Just need to be cautious about going in close range versus a brawler like Spike, for instance.
Certainly something you got to keep your mind on for sure. As far as this map is concerned, Crystal Arcade draft, I, again, sort of like both of them. I would think I would have rather seen a something different besides the Carl, but I don't hate it. And then I look at Tribe Gaming, and I feel similar ways. I love the Daryl pick, and I think Tyrant actually might be one of the big difference makers here on the field. And right away, Tribe Gaming starts off with position and has 2 gems, but CMG are able to find a little bit of room as Toast steps up and matches those 2.
CMG trying to hold their ground with some of these sandbags down the right side. Tyrant's going to march right through them, though he has a lot of health to work with. He hasn't taken actually any damage yet. Rolls right onto Bo. There's nothing he can do. Now the roll back to the right side, but Juan Carlos has the death from above, the supply drop coming in to boost him up a bit on the power rankings too. RBM on the left side, taken down now by Livy, holding 3 gems. Toast, he's determined to break open some of these walls as well. Now, this isn't going to be like the greatest for Livy, but he has a lot more room to work with. Running the Colonel Ruffs or the bow explosion, some of that wall break into B is definitely very gutsy, and we'll see if Livy is still able to line up some of these shots, but so far it's a fairly good outlook for Tribe Gaming.
4-5 right now as RBM spinning on the right-hand side. His team also winning. So they've got 7 gems in the pocket. Tyrant here making the move towards mid. Can't find the perfect angle, and because of it, punished. Down goes the barrel. So 3-on-2 for the moment, but Tribe are the ones in the center. And so is Libby primed and ready to go. Still chased off a little bit by Bo.
Bo's chasing down this gem on the left side. Oh, here comes RBM, and with the protective pirouette, takedown onto his Libby on the back lines. It brings us to a 2v2. And Toast has to retreat as well. With the takedown to B and the gem spawning on the back lines, it's pretty much just a free reset for Livy, as it was simply a trade. But Chazmac Gaming and 8, they're just one gem short. Tribe Gaming, they're spreading out their elbows, trying to take up as much room as possible at mid so they can afford to pick up a couple more gems. Chazmac are just one gem away from starting this countdown.
That's an important gem that we just saw Tribe Gaming pick up, because if Chazmac pick up 10, then the 10th gem for Tribe is still on the field, ready to be reset, but it's a kill. And so it's 8-12 at the moment, and that is a big difference. Even if RBM goes down here, it's still just 9, and Tribe have to get a kill in order to win this. Keep an eye on Tyrant upside, barrels on in, but with just 2 seconds to go, not enough damage.
Wow. Upset Tribe Gaming right here, and that's not unheard of in a grand final, but in a semifinal, that's something of a completely different breed. Chazmac Gaming NA have one game up on the board. It's match point, and they started off the game similarly dominantly, with Tyrant already having to retreat off that left side, now move on to the right for a fair matchup. Zulon also switching lanes on the left side, but Chazmac have the early game wall breaks, and it worked well for them last time. It's not going to keep Toast safe from getting hit by a charged up B, but still, they have the advantage in terms of gems for now.
Tyrant cornered here by RBM, but RBM actually falls. Shout outs to his Libby with the assist. Actually gets the kill in proper. Tyrant locked down and says thank you to his mid laner. 4-3, Tribe Gaming with mid control, so make that 5. And is Libby thinking about making the big play?
Small wall break on the right side. Tyrant now with the roll in. Juan Carlos, he doesn't even try to defend as he's stunned up in the air, can't throw down those sandbags or anything. Big slows on a Toast as he's forced back and gets tagged up too, as Livy has been tapping, lining up the shots repeatedly. Same for Tyrant on the right side as he takes down Juan Carlos once again. Another super cycled out for Zulon. Chazmac Gaming in A, it's like a downward spiral. They have not been able to get control this entire game, even stepping into a desperate move. Break open that wall on the right side, but as Livy cannot miss. Tyrant rolls once again on the right side. Juan Carlos tries to block. Here comes the elimination with the death from above as Zulon falls, but is Livy so far out of reach that it's not even possible. We're going to a double match point.
Just like that.
This is a marathon match that we've witnessed so far, and it could finally come to a conclusion. I don't see a reality where it gets tied up in gem grab, but at this rate, it might as well. I mean, we've had a set, we've had a 3-game set every single set so far, and well, actually,
one of them was 4.
Correction, yes, we had a 4-game set.
Right now, Chazmac set the table as Zulon seems to be the feast, but it's RBM that falls down to the left side. A nice shot weaved in by Toast. 4-1, Tribe Gaming with the gem lead and mid control.
Chazmac Gaming in A now starting to move in. Toast prioritizing that left side because it looked like Juan Carlos had a lot of trouble versus Tyrant in that last game. They're prioritizing breaking open those side lanes and then moving in later. Juan Carlos and Toast getting both taken down the left side. RBM tries to defend, but it's just not enough as Livy with 8 gems over his head, soon to be a 9th and a 10th. Chazmac Gaming in A, it's drive time, but they don't really have much mobility. It's only RBM with a single gadget. Tyrant rolls in on the left side. Juan Carlos falls. This could be it. This could be the game-winning play as Livy's just out of range at the mid lane. 5 seconds left. Toast gonna try to block things off on the left. Here comes RBM, but as Livy heals up with a life plant, and that's